Hello everyone once again, this is Rob and welcome back to Media Awareness and another suggestion video, spotlight video, a video highlighting an album that you may not have heard, yet I feel it's worth mentioning. Before I go any further, I'd like to ask you all to consider subscribing to my YouTube channel and becoming part of my YouTube family. I'd love to have you. Also, please consider liking and sharing this video with someone that you feel would appreciate the content. If you're comfortable commenting below, please do so. If not, however, you are welcome to send me a private message via my Facebook link in the description. I do this for the privacy of individuals who are not comfortable sharing their thoughts publicly. I do check my spam folder daily, so if your message does happen to get filtered, I will find it and I will respond to you personally. Also, in the description, you'll find a link to the Patreon page where you can choose to support both this YouTube channel as well as the Patreon platform as well. I'll be posting simultaneous content on Patreon as I'm posting here in the near future, and both channels will mirror each other to some degree, at least with current media awareness material. But I have to get around to doing so. That's quite an achievement to do. I'll be doing that early in the new year, so you can look forward to that in 2023. As it stands, today is Friday, December 23rd of 2022. How time flies. Additionally, in the description, you'll find a link to the Media Awareness Amazon wishlist where you can pick and choose items for me to review, unbox, etc. You tell me what you'd like, and I will do so. My cat's saying hello as well. Hello, baby. Hello. So, you have that option as well. So, what are we talking about today? We're talking about a Yes album called Keystudio. I've been a Yes fan for a very long time. And back in the mid 90s, there was an album released called Keys to Ascension. And it was marketed as a live album with a couple new studio tracks. And I actually passed on the first Keys to Ascension the first time around because I had heard the live material on other live albums, and it wasn't enough incentive for me to buy the product for these two new studio songs. When Keys to Ascension 2 was released a year later with the rest of the new studio material that had been recorded, I bought both Keys to Ascensions 1 and 2. And I think for me, as a fan of Yes and as a fan of their both studio and live material, it bothered me that there was live material that was older mixed with brand new studio material. And the brand new studio material could have stood by itself on its own very, very well as a single album. So that was actually accomplished in 2001 when Steve Howe and the rest of Yes decided to release these studio tracks as a compilation album called Keystudio, which in many ways is a studio album made up of material that most people haven't heard because they had never heard Keys to Ascension Volume 1 or 2, or they skipped the new material because it was new. And we all know how people feel about new material by bands. It's taboo to release anything new these days, even back in the early 2000s, or even the 1990s for that matter. So this material was kind of buried in the Yes catalog. And it's a shame because it is some of the strongest material that Yes ever recorded. And Rick Wakeman had been on record as saying that he felt the material would have stood fine as its own album. And I believe that it would have as well. There was a marketing ploy by management, in my opinion, to sort of sell both classic as well as new material. But the drawback was once all the material had been released, Rick Wakeman was on to different projects, and the existing members of Yes had gone on to another project of Yes as well called Open Your Eyes. So the Keys to Ascension studio material was never really given the chance to shine the way it should have. I came across Keystudio by accident when I was building my Yes collection proper in the mid 2000s or so. And I was able to acquire Keystudio for a relatively affordable price at the time. And it wasn't in my possession very long, unfortunately. It was taken from my collection by a certain individual who will remain nameless, although I know it was you. That being said, I was able to reacquire a replacement recently for a relatively affordable price as well. But this album should not have been a compilation album. This album should have been a proper Yes album. And to me, it is a proper Yes album. There is nothing that makes it sound like a compilation. And it's only the fact that it's taken these studio tracks from Keys to Ascension 1 and 2 and placed them on a single disc that makes it a compilation. Now, that is the very definition for a compilation. Compiling material from different albums. But in this case, the material, for the most part, could have been on one disc. And eventually was, to some extent, with a few minor omissions. But the album, Keystudio, my favorite song on this is Be the One. It is such a beautiful song. And just so intense. And you have the lineup of John Anderson, Rick Wakeman, Chris Squire, Alan White, and Steve Howe. The same lineup that played on Tales from Topographic Oceans, Going for the One, and Tormato. They subsequently worked together on the Union project, but that was debatable because nobody really seems to know who played on what track on Union, even though I think it's one one of the greatest albums. That's my opinion. Now we'll go for that when I do a Yes discography review. If I do a Yes discography review, which if you'd like to see that on my channel, let me know in the comment section below or in a private message on Facebook. But Be the One is, oh my god, so beautiful and just so intense. And these tracks as a whole make one of the most compelling studio albums you'll ever hear. I'm going to link a YouTube video below that has the whole album where you can listen to it from beginning to end. And it is just magic. And it really is magic. And it really bothers me. And it bothered me when I was listening to Keystudio Ascension Volume 1 and 2 back in the 90s. That I couldn't just skip from track to track. I had to skip from disc to disc because they weren't all on the same disc until 2001. So, Keystudio is one of those albums that really should not have been a compilation. It should have been a studio album. I consider it a studio album because the material had been recorded to basically be a studio album to some degree in two separate sessions, really, during the Keys to Ascension time frame. I think that this album is a lost gem, and the material itself is also a lost gem. If you have not heard Keys to Ascension 1 or 2, then you have not heard some of the best studio material there is to offer, because it's hidden away on those live albums. And unless you're lucky enough to have Keystudio, you're missing out. So that'll be linked in the description below, and hopefully you can listen to that and enjoy it as much as I have over the years. As I said, I am a major Yes fan and plan on doing a discography ranking. If people do want that, let me know and I will do so. I'd love to. But in the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season and listen to some great music. There's a lot of great music coming in 2023. There was a lot of great music in 2022. And please stay tuned on my channel for my end of the year 2022 first annual ranking of the best albums of the year. That'll be coming up on New Year's. So, thank you for watching this video, and I thank you in advance for checking out Keystudio. You won't be sorry. If you're a Yes fan, if you're a fan of progressive rock, even if you're a fan of rock in general, and just how it can move people, check it out. You won't be sorry. This is Rob with Media Awareness. Once again, if you like my content, click the like button. Please share this video. Comment in the comment section or send me a message on Facebook. Check out the Patreon link and consider becoming a patron of my channel. Consider becoming part of my YouTube family and subscribe to Media Awareness as a whole. And also feel free to check out the Amazon Media Awareness wish list and choose your own adventure, as they say. Have a great night. Bye.